this is going to come back. It's sort of shake, rattle, and roll, and I was thinking about the Fonz and all of that sort of stuff, and it's a cavalcade of song, movement, and colour. And I went and saw this. It's sort of touring Australia, and it's sort of, so if you sort of Google shake, rattle, and roll, you can find out a little bit more about it. But it's got sort of the sounds of the 50s and the 60s with entertainment aplenty. And I loved Happy Days was one of my favourite sort of TV shows when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it. And there was that sort of feel. And do you remember there are a couple of DJs? Who was the guy? Casey Kasem. Remember spinning the top 40, Greg? Did you listen to that or not?
Yeah, Casey Kasem. You were talking about Wolfman Jack before as well.
Yeah, it wasn't Casey Kasem. It was Wolfman Jack. But I'm just saying that.
Yeah. I remember listening to American Top 40 occasionally. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was 3KZ.
I can't remember. I didn't. Was it 3KZ? I don't know. But anyway, I mean, the pretense to all of this is the recreation of that famous gravelly voice, the American DJ Wolfman Jack, and his radio broadcasts. And he's even frequently pictured in silhouette on this large central video that forms the backdrop to Shake, Rattle and Roll the show. So it's really interesting, that aspect of it. And it's a big stage. I mean, it's a poised, it's a polished cast, 5 singers, 8 dancers. They sort of light the fuse and keep it burning. And when I say keep it burning, I reckon this show with interval went for like 2.5 hours. It was a big show, a really, really big show. So you got full songs, you got mashups, they're the order of the day, and the audience sort of lapped it all up. And alongside the smooth-voiced vocals are these really combination of male and female dancers, muscular, lithe, leggy, and, pardon the pun, they don't put a foot wrong, because the choreography is really good. It's the work of the principal dancer, who I think he won, what's that TV show that... his name's Arik Yegudkin. I don't watch it, my wife does, but the show that has the dancers, I think it's Channel 7. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, thank you. So, I mean, it's really, really slick choreography, and as I say, he's one of the dancers. So it sort of takes a stroll down memory lane. We're talking poodle skirts, we're talking bobby socks, we're talking Brühl-creamed hair. And funnily enough, after this, I Googled, I never grew up, I think Brühl cream was one of those things that predated me. Did you ever put Brühl cream in your hair, Greg?
No.
No. Well, it's still around. I mean, you can still buy Brühl cream, apparently. Not that I've sorted out, not that I'm going to seek it out now. Look, the funny thing about this, if you go back to the era, a number of the ads of the day are played on the big screen. I think that's fun. Like an ad for a particular car, and that's part of the show. Fabulous. And then you've got a number of sort of impersonations. So you've got Elvis, played by Anthony Petrucci, and you've also got Buddy Holly, right? So sort of they're front and centre. And among the musical hits performed are those by Johnny O'Keefe, Bobby Darin, Chuck Berry, Doris Day, Richie Valens, Jerry Lee Lewis. You're not going to go wrong with songs like that. And they're really good. They're very, very good singers. And it celebrates its 30th year, this particular show, Shake, Rattle and Roll, next year. Obviously, during COVID, it hasn't been around. I think one of them said for about 6 years. I mean, that seems like a long time not to have it there. But 2 of the original cast members are still at it. So 30 years later or 29 years later, Glenn Craven and Rick Charles, and working alongside them are Jonathan Guthrie Jones and Jamie Holland. And the costumes, which also include this diverse range of tuxedos, very, very multiple colours and textures and patterns and so forth, they undoubtedly add to the flavour of the production. So it's good. It's a really good show. It's touring Australia. Shake, Rattle and Roll. It's much slicker than I imagined it was going to be, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So you're going to have to Google it just to get the repeat dates. In fact, maybe we can do that now. Shake, Rattle and Roll, because I know they're coming back to Melbourne, but they're not in the... You know how most of the shows I cover are in the same... So are in and around the city. I saw this anywhere but in the city, which is rather interesting. I'm just having a look now. It sort of says book today. I'm just going into the website. And I mean, if I put in Melbourne... No. See, yeah, if I put in Melbourne, let's see... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Athenaeum Theatre, the 2nd of September and the 3rd of September. So there's a show at 8 o'clock on Friday the 2nd. There's also a show at 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock, so it is going to the centre of the city on the 3rd of September. So, folks, if you want to catch it, shake, rattle, and the letter N, shake, rattle, and roll. That's it. So, I mean, I don't know, did both of you must have loved Happy Days, or were you too young, Dave?
No, I grew up with Happy Days. Happy Days was definitely on when I grew up, and my radio DJ of that time period was Barry Bissell. Of course,
I worked with Biz.
Yeah.
I was at Fox.
So yeah, no, he was the go-to person for my generation of playing the top 40 hits. So yeah, it was. I think he used to do Friday night and Sunday afternoon. They used to have the Take 40 Australia with Barry Bissell.
Yes.
But
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
They did.
Yep.
Absolutely. Greg, was that your kind of music or not really?
Yeah, I grew up listening to 3XY.
Oh yeah, where No Wrinklies Fly.
No, that was 3U. Is
3OK? Was it?
3OK, something like that. Yeah, but I grew up listening to 3XY after they.
I thought. Are you sure it's not Where No Wrinklies Fly? Are you sure it wasn't?
Yeah,
that?
it was 3OK or 3. It was 3OK, I think.
Oh, was it? The interesting thing is that I remember going into Allen's and Brash's.
Yeah.
You remember those stores, Greg? And I used to get the top 40s. And my prized possession was one with Cat Stevens at the front of it. I loved Cat Stevens. I thought,
okay.
Yeah, I really did. I thought, Father and Son, you know, it was a wonderful song, but there's so many others. And I mean, then he found God, or he probably always found God, but then he went over and started that part of his life. But
he called himself Yusuf Islam, and apparently one radio station in America is so peed off at this decision that they actually bulldozed all his CDs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, a different time. Yes, I what political correctness you'd like to think that wouldn't be allowed today, but there you go. Now let's go from that to